Hi, well, I'm Anthea Layden. I'm from COX Architecture. I'm here to present a beautiful project out in Mainridge in Red Hill, 10 minutes by tractor. So 10 minutes by tractor is owned by the Spedding Group. They own 3 sites, and the reason the name came from 10 minutes by tractor is all the 3 vineyards are connected by a 10-minute tractor ride to connect to each of their vineyards. So the original, I guess the Speddings in 1997 were trying to find, I guess, a family and a home for their vineyards to create their beautiful wines. Oh, it's my phone. So the original site has an existing cottage and a shed. So when they purchased this site, they retained the original cottage and refurbished it into a fine dining restaurant, as well as a cellar door. And the shed actually services the restaurant. Unfortunately, in late 2018, there was a fire on the site, but the standalone cottage remained. So when we were approached by the Spedding Group, we looked at a few original schemes on the site, but then after the fires, we decided to sort of, I guess, retain the heritage of the site and sort of repurpose 4 buildings that would be reminiscent of the old shed, and how we could do that in a more contemporary, minimalistic approach. These 4 new additions to the site are connected by a cobbled granite, pathways, which then also highlight and frame the existing cottage as well. So we looked at the extension as well to the cottage, so there's some new additions. So this made the restaurant from a 40-seater dining to a 68-seater dining area. The entrance to the main cottage, we retained its form and its character, but to uplift the site, we reclad it in some reclaimed timber as well. So we, drew from the local site, and that sort of, we purposed that with materiality as well as some finer details. So looking at the tractor radiator grills, we proposed some age brass screens, as well as within the dining bar area of the cellar door, we looked at some very sort of soft lighting, which then highlighted their wines. Within the main restaurant, the materiality approach was to really be reminiscent of the landscape and the terra. So we used some really sort of fine green, muted tones within the interior, as well as some natural stones that are reminiscent of, if you were to look at a landscape photograph of the copse of the trees. Within this, we have some intimate settings which also frame out to the views and the original sort of site. So you can look from this particular photograph here, you can see the existing shed that remained after the fire. With the extension, we were also asked to look at some larger group settings. So we created what we call the chef's table. The chef's table is linked to the open kitchen, so that sort of gives the guest experience, so really sort of the activity of the chefs and how they can sort of, be the culinary fine dining experience. We also added an addition of a private dining room, which we worked with Damien Wright in collaboration to create this beautiful English oak table, which is connected with these dovetail joints. So it's quite a beautiful English oak table, which then has the outlook to the corner, to the terra and the landscape. Also situated above the dining setting is, the client was out in France and purchased some of these beautiful Jacobson lights as well. So we used what they already had as well. Within that, the dining area is elevated along the landscape, along the vineyard, so it really gives you that connection, but still this intimacy to the site. So really you can sort of see when we added these new additions or these new contemporary sheds, we really sort of highlighted and framed the views out, as well as sort of really sort of just, envisaging how the guest user experience would be. Within that, a new addition to the amenity, the WCs, is you walk through a black and steel portal. This portal also, you can sort of see, it's framing the views as well out to the landscape. So every moment, every vista, it was really considered through the planning of this. The toilets are clad in a beautiful travertine stone and really sort of earth-like material. So we really sort of captured the nice natural tones of the earth. Through this, we've also, again, highlighted a large frame window, which then connects some natural light through to the WCs, as well as sort of connecting you out to the beautiful sandstone addition. Moving down within the site is the cellar door room. Within that, we sort of retained the the beautiful sort of timber highlights and the warm sort of tones of the cobblestones, which then lead you out to the connecting pathways. These connecting pathways give the visitor journey as they sort of enter through, a natural journey and destination to where they will orientate themselves towards. So as you can sort of see here, we've sort of connected this outdoor courtyard. This courtyard originally was just meant to be a place to sort of, I guess, dwell and sit in between if you're a fine diner or going to the cellar door. But after COVID, and obviously, you know, the outdoor dining became quite a popular experience, we then sort of created this beautiful outdoor casual dining experience. So you can sort of see through here how it connects the cellar door to the existing fine dining restaurant, and then we sort of created these beautiful outdoor settings underneath these natural sort of timber open vistas. So through the cellar door is, I guess, the experience for if you sort of come to the wine tasting, what have you. So you walk through a beautiful timber large door with a highlighted brass detail as well. So through this particular new modern shed, we've also got the cellar door experience, but also the Tennis by Tractor headquarters, as well as a gallery experience as well. So through this cellar door experience, we created a highlighted skylight through the pitched timber cladded ceilings, and this connects the visitor to the sky, as well as connecting you to the earth, so through the aggregated concrete flooring. The tasting bar joinery was reminiscent and envisaged to sort of replicate the soils of the vineyards. So we worked together quite closely with a brick layer, and so we sort of then created these beautiful muted tones and sort of staggered it so you sort of replicate this very earthy, natural soil experience. So through the cellar door experience as well, we tried to have some intimate settings. So the chimney fireplace is a place you can sort of come and have a wine and just sort of have a more intimate sort of casual experience as well. And the materiality you can see within the interiors is also connected to the exterior. So the beautiful timber tones as well as the blackened steels is also brought in through the interiors as well. So the vistas and views through the planning is always connecting you to the outside and the landscape. So really sort of connecting you through and really creating these experiences for the user, which I think was quite successful. So you can sort of see through here we have the 4 buildings, the elevational view. So you can sort of see how they sort of connect through to the landscape. They're kept quite low and just quite serene. There we go. Sorry.